A.R.M.YTAKU. What's up? I'm Otaku.
And I'm ZUMOSHI. And for this video, Otaku and I will be analyzing, discussing, and giving our opinions on which is better, SAO or SAO II.
Yes.
Let's begin. Don't even.
Okay, now that we got the intro out the way, let's begin. Disclaimer, this video includes spoilers. If you haven't completely seen SAO and SAO II, then please feel free to exit the video. SAO or SAO Online is one of the most popular short series anime out there. The anime revolves around our main character, Kirito, and his journey to escape the death game of SAO. This is also what the first season is about. In season 2, the plot changes, but we'll get into that later. In all honesty, I really enjoyed the first season. It had likable characters and a pretty straightforward plot, not to mention the cool fighting scenes and the big reveal involving Akihiko Kaiba, the creator of the game. To me, the show was pretty solid, or at least the beginning was. There were some things that kept the show from shining from its full potential, and one of those things was Asuna. Yuki. Now you Asuna lovers, don't get triggered. This isn't a video about hating Asuna. The point I'm trying to make surrounds the influence in the show. Before Kirito and Asuna got together, Kirito only had one thing in mind, which was escaping the game. The plot was also heading this direction until they become a couple. This is where the plot sidetracks, and that's because Kirito is no longer so eager to leave the game or go back to his sister, as he mentioned before. Why? Because he's no longer alone. He has Asuna. This is where Kirito goes from escaping the game to making a life with Asuna. This is seen when he proposes to her out of the blue. They buy a house together, and they find I'm sorry guys, and they find they basically adopt Yuri. So yeah. Considering her child of their own, and it's during this time that both Kirito and Asuna make zero advances to clearing the game. Eventually, the plot gets back on track, and they clear SAO. But those events weren't really needed in the show. It made the anime about romance, causing it to become generic. The main character just had to find a love interest when he really didn't. It was unnecessary, which made dislike Asuna's character. An anime doesn't need a love story to be successful. Take Black Butler or Death Note as an example. Just think the anime could have been just as good without a cliche love story. The second thing I want to point out about SAO is basically the entire plot of season 2. Now we all know that after the first season, SAO Online is cleared and Kirito escapes the game. In season 2, we find out that Asuna, along with 500 other gamers, had not woken up, even though SAO no longer exists. This is when Kirito finds out that she's trapped in a different game and now has to go rescue her. This kid literally just got out of a game he's been in for 2 years just to go back into another game. Like, bruh, are you serious? I know I'm making the second season sound pretty bad, but in honesty, didn't bother me. Anyways, season 2 just goes to show how much the plot changes from season 1, and that's why a lot of people were dissatisfied with it. Some believe the show should have ended with the first season, and I can see why. Either way, you've heard my opinion, and although there's a lot of controversy about SAO, I still love the show.
Alright, I'm now going to start going over Sword Art Online 2, which some people refer to as Gun Gale Online. Gun Gale Online, or GGO, is the set game that will surround the main conflict of Season 1. A few years after the tragedy of SAO, players who die in the game of GGO mysteriously begin to die in real life. And it's for this reason that Kirito is called in to play GGO in the hopes of discovering what's going on. Soon enough, it's revealed that the person responsible for these deaths is a player in the game only known as Death Gun. Now, I'm going to be completely honest here, guys. I absolutely loved the first season of Sword Art Online 2. Not to mention, the opening is lit AF. The second part series has so much potential. I love the idea involving Death Gun as the antagonist, along with the gripping hangovers, mystery, and action-packed fighting scenes. Everything was there. I cannot explain how happy I was with the start of this show. But of course, the writers always end up doing something that F's up the entire plot. Firstly, I was dissatisfied with how quickly the conflict between Death Gun had ended. I just felt that so much more could have happened. Unfortunately, it was over after episode 14. 14! The story was there, it just needed to last. I don't know if it's just me, but I love Death Gun's role in the show, along with the fact that it was Kyoji and his brother who were behind it all along. Who would have known that it was Sinan's seemingly innocent friend the whole time? And of course, we can't forget the fact that Kyoji almost raped her, claiming he loved her all along as well, and yet he almost killed her. Yeah, I don't see how that was going to work out. Anyway, the next point I'm bringing up is the plot of Season 2. After the capture of Death Gun, Kirito and everyone else simply continue to play Alfheim Online until they meet the terminally ill character known as Yuki. So, what's my problem, you may ask? My problem is that there is no problem. There's no conflict. Zero. And for those of you who don't know, conflict is what drives a plot. It's what makes a good story. I know this because I had to study it in English. Analyzing the details of plot progression is not fun, but it made me realize why I didn't like the second season. At first, I thought they were just supposed to be filler episodes used to pass time until the return of Death Gun, because, I don't know if you guys remember, but after Death Gun was captured, he left a letter to Kirito saying that their fight was not over and that he'd be back again. Someday. I couldn't find a clip of that scene, unfortunately, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. I took that scene as a sign of foreshadowing in the hopes that Death Gun would make his return, but he never did. The show continues with Kirito's adventures in Alfheim, and eventually ends with the death of Yuki succumbing to her illness. The ending was neither what I expected or wanted. It just felt completely detached from the previous events in the show. I didn't like how the plot went from the unpredictable twists of GGO to the sad story of a girl who lives her life in a game because she's dying. It didn't make sense to me. Despite SAO's many flaws, I did enjoy watching it. There were some good moments as well as some not so good moments. This show can be seen in many different ways. Besides all the hate SAO has gotten, it stands on its own and definitely has its highlights, but that's just my opinion. Oh, and as for my decision on which show is better, I'm gonna have to go with SAO II, or the first 14 episodes of it at least.
Well, that'll be it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please let us know if you like these voiceovers. If you do, then this will be how we start to do more of our anime-related topic videos. So please let us know. Feel free to leave your comments down in the comments section below. Let us know which one you like better, SAO or SAO II. Please be sure.
And make sure you give a big thumbs up. Follow our social medias down below. Please do that because I will be checking. Okay. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a blessed day.
Thanks for watching. Stop. There's all my favorites in there. You know, we got Shumi, Baekhyun, which is dangerous. I'm going to buy some ice record and stuff. And then China.
Bruh.